It's the monument to Belial's lost body. Too soon. Though we're coming up on tea break time. So for those of you who are waiting to grab a drink, worry not. We will soon be able to get one. Also, that needs to be pulled down. I didn't notice that we hadn't taken care of that. That was silly of me. And we're still waiting for a lot of work to be done over here, sadly. Why is there so much copper ore there? And iron. Why is... What? No idea. A monument that says, we mined the shit out of this asteroid and we built a stupendous monument and win at life. I mean, okay, fair enough. It's not quite bending the laws of nature to our will, but I guess it's close. Okay, we've now got probably more than enough plastic to get all of this done. We would like a crossing point. I would also like insulated tile out of igneous rock if possible. I love the sound they make when they're moving through the transit tube at high speeds and then they just come to a break in the tube and exit it. It sounds that they come out of that tube moving at significant speeds. A lot of force is involved in that sudden slowing down. And indeed stopping. I mean, printing duplicants is inherently bending the laws of nature to your wishes already. Also, you're magically deleting heat. I mean, neutronium wand waving. Genetic ooze. All normal. There we go. As soon as that's built, this should hook up properly. And start allowing people to come up here and also, more importantly, go back. Last little bit of plastic. Tonk. And done. Hooray! And now so many things can be built. Oh, my lord. Bye. And finished. Alright then. That is so much better. Don't ask why water physics does this. Yeah. Water physics are not, really. Where on earth are you going? You are collecting sedimentary rock. Very well. Right, getting the power in place. Now that we've got this here, I imagine this is going to be a lot faster. They're still being dropped off here to go out, but that shouldn't be a big problem for us. Largely, I don't want to have to deal with having to vacuum out certain areas. I think this is fine for now. Hi, Kaiser. You scallywag. Water only has a consistency of jello, yes. That's pretty much the problem. Right, getting more and more of this system set up. Perfect. Now, the thing is, I'm worried that I may need to rebuild this system at some point regardless what I do. Which is going to be a massive pain in the bum, but... You know, what can I do about it for now? I am very tempted to set up a pump to draw out pretty much all of the air in here if I can, and replace it with hydrogen over time. But The reality is that although this is polluted oxygen, that will actually manage easy enough. I can always do that later. I wonder if you could cool the steam engines down with steam. I mean, realistically, you probably could. As long as you had the cooling pipe along here, the steam, once it's in the room, will condense into water, and the water will then act as the transfer medium for the heat from the turbine into the cooling loop. Interesting. Lime, again, 150 kilos. This is fantastic. Steel for days. As soon as I actually get some of these sensors in place, I want this to keep, if it is above 20 degrees, actually, if it's above 20 degrees, I want it to be cooled by 14 degrees. That'll be fine. This should activate only if the heat in this room is above 200. Actually, you know what? Yeah, because then it's getting into dangerous territory. This should allow water in if the atmosphere is below the max. Oh, sorry. If it's above the max, then it should allow the pump to activate and to take some steam out of it. Really, did that activate for a second? I think it might have. That was a mistake. There's no steam in here yet. We have got the hydro sensor. If the water on the floor is above, let's say, 10 kilos, then I don't want any more water being brought in. Actually, we should make that a little bit higher. If the water is above, say, 5 kilos. Sorry, yeah, a little bit lower, rather. No, not 55. There's more than 5 kilos of liquid on the floor. We shouldn't bring it. Well, you know, in a way, I could say no liquid should be on the floor. If it's above, if there's any liquid there at all. One kilo. If it's below 1 kilo, no, above. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. That has to be above 1. So if water is being brought in here and it's still in a liquid state by the time it gets here, then no more liquid should be allowed into the system. But if any liquid reaches this point, so there's liquid above 0, then the room isn't hot enough to turn water into steam yet. So we shouldn't be bringing more water in because we could easily flood the whole system with way too much pressure of gas. So that should work fine. This will... balls. It's in the bad place. Okay, I'm going to need to get rid of that. This will only prevent more liquids from being brought in if the pressure in here is above 20 kilos per tile. And in that case, it will allow this to kick on. I'm actually going to adjust this to 150. These will turn on if the temperature in here gets above 150, but it'll also allow this to activate if the temperature gets above 150, which will fill this with more gas. Hello, Siri. She had her meds. She's already had them, has she? Hello, baby. Hello. You're a good girl, aren't you? Yes. Well, we were about to go on tea break anyway, weren't we? Have you been good, chat? Do you want to see Siri? It's okay, she can be wiggly. Why don't you go grab the salmon oil? You can just tug the door. Okay. Chat has been good, so I guess we'll have a little bit of Siri time. Right. Okay. Well, everything should be okay and no one should die, I hope. But let's just drop a save, just in case. Siri, have you literally gone down... She's gone down the hose on the air conditioner. You scallywag, you. Let's go find someone to watch. Let's go to our builder. Snowfoot. Won't follow cam on you. And time for our tea break stream. Punk. And I suppose also time for me to plug in the camera. Alright, give me a sec. Yeah, she does know me. You can let her run around a little bit. Right then, Miss Siri. And we're back. Has Snowfoot been getting all of the building done? Hopefully. Let's go and have a look. Actually, a goodly amount of it, yeah. Well done indeed. Heretical wonder weasels. I have never heard that one before, but I think I approve. Right. We want to connect these up. That, cancel that, that. And then this way it keeps the individual little bits of the pipe where I want it. And the other thing I could do is I could literally have that vent out if the pressure in here is too high, which might get to be the case. I don't think it will, though. I think we should be okay. But I am going to need this to travel along and for this vent to exist here instead. They've been hauling CO2 most of the time. Well, fair enough. They haven't built this yet, though. Let's pump that up to 7. Just need a tiny bit of petroleum in there, and we're good. That should cause all of that CO2 to liquefy and then evaporate. Reasonably low temperature still. And to be fair, they are picking up huge amounts of CO2 that have condensed over here. How much is there? Okay, all that's there now is just, well, it's the problem is the CO2 is moving in, condensing, and then making new CO2. New solid CO2. So it's actually kind of a pain. Oh wow. The Solixters are not happy. But the CO2 is genuinely starting to fill up now. That is starting to look good. Got a lot of CO2 in here at this point. Hello, Runa Cat. How are you doing? There we go. I want a tiny bit of petroleum, please. At nice high priority of an 8. Enable auto bottle so you can bring it along from wherever. Bring off a little bit more CO2. So may as well get that destroyed. The problem is they're now bringing along like just a couple of grams of CO2, which is not exactly ideal. Perhaps the best thing to do here would in fact be to let's deconstruct this, replace it with a storage receptacle. And I could even have a few of them. Something that can gain heat quickly, so sedimentary rock. Also tear down the power line. And now that that's happened, we can set these up to take liquefiable CO2. Now, each one can only hold 20 kilos, which is fine. Copy settings across all 3. This is really what I should have done before, if I'm honest. Oh, damage overloaded. Okay, we're finally seeing some... Is it the gas pipe? Oh, sorry, overheated. What's the temperature here? Oh dear, what? I don't understand that. What's the temperature of the oxygen coming through? It's 0.6. I mean, granted, it's very hot around it, but... Overheat temperature is 75. Poop. Alright, what we need then is to replace the tiles here with radiant tiles. I could use... Yeah, we'll go with gold amalgam, sure. And just straight down. So that it gets rid of as much of the temperature as possible. It's a bit of an issue. But if we replace these with radiant heat pipes... radiant gas pipes, they should be able to shift a lot of the temperature, because the oxygen going through them is actually relatively cold. Like, it's really cold, in fact. So... So all we're going to have to do with that, and hopefully it'll get sorted out relatively quickly. Is there no petroleum over here that they can collect? Yeah, there's 37 kilos of petroleum here that I can gather. It's a matter of waiting, I guess. 7 hours of streaming? Damn, Aavak, you're a bloody machine. Wow. Poopaloo. Funny you should say that. recently, I don't think I've had a stream that's been shorter than 10 or 11 hours. It's just the way I consume games, basically. It's not anything more than that. It's just the way I enjoy playing games. That should be deconstructed, please and thanks. All gate, insulated gas pipes, oxygen. Oh. Did I pull down the wrong thing? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. All of that needs to be done right now. I remember your 16-hour Valheim stream. That was long for me, to be fair. 16 hours was a bit on the long side. Still super fun though. There's an abyssalite ferret structure in the middle of the base. What? Let me zoom out. There's certainly faces that I can see. Oh, this. Yeah, I suppose it is a little bit like a ferret in a way. Why is this not being done? Oh, it's because that's not on a high priority. Fair enough. Right, I think more or less all of this is now sorted. So let's get to sweeping. That does need to be done as a very high priority. Then, for a brief bit of time, we're going to vent out all of the gas from here until there's a complete vacuum in this room. The other thing we could do is I could actually use that to vent out this room as well. Where's my hydrogen? Where be you, hydrogen? Hydrogen line is way, 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 way far away, sadly. That would be a potch to do that. No, I'm not going to do that right now, but that is definitely something I can do in the future, because I honestly don't know how long we're going to be keeping this little setup. We might run out of use for it very quickly. My lord, I really do desperately want you to bring along some petroleum. I don't know why they're not doing it. Let's have a look at priorities. Is tidying a reasonably high one? Yeah, tidying is a reasonably high one. Has anyone been given this job then? Let's have a look. Storing materials is the high priority. Okay, well, what we'll do then is storing. We're going to make... Huh. Wait a sec. Who are our haulers? Manu and Tok are our haulers. In that case, let's make sure that they've both got high priorities for it. Manu, you should have double high priority. As should Tok. Double high priority. Most other people should have fairly low priorities unless they've got some sort of very specific job that means that, you know, they really shouldn't be faffing around with that. Manu and Tok, though, let's make sure that you've both got supplying as a high priority, not a double high. That should get some stuff on the move. It's been so long that I haven't properly checked everything in here and made sure that everything is working the way it should be. They are now storing an awful lot of items. Hopefully we'll see the petroleum coming along soon. I've got to watch it, unfortunately, because if I take my eyes off it, they could fill this area with petroleum, which is not exactly what I wanted. Kind of wanted to be brought over a little bit. Only a little bit. Just have a thin layer of petroleum in there. But on the plus side, we are actually filling these out, which is good. I do want to see the storage complete over here if we can. Some more meat on the way, so something has died recently. On the plus side, most of our people have got incredibly high strength. In fact, let's have a look at Manu and talk. So, Manu, your attributes are 25 in strength. You can carry 1,000 kilos. And you've got plus 625% tidying speed, which is actually quite nice. And talk. You've only got a strength of 15, but still, you know, that's not too bad. You've got 600 kilo carrying capacity. You'll get there. Your skills will get better over time. Metal refinery, soda fountain, command caps, or rock. Really? My soda fountain is lacking. Why is that? Soda fountain should be being supplied with CO2 from... Should have a canister loader somewhere around here that's getting some CO2 to put in there. Got a canister filler over here. It's fairly certain that I had somewhere that was gathering up the CO2 and then making that available. Is it down here somewhere I had it? No, apparently not. Maybe over here. Nope, not there either. That's the next most likely place for us to have a CO2 bottler. Huh. Okay, well I guess we're going to have to build another CO2 bottler so that I can actually load up my soda fountain with some bubbles. Can I have power? Okay. Well, that's going to have... Oh, wait. Yay, petroleum is there. Okay, that can turn off now then. In fact, it can be deconstructed. Well... Yeah, it's got 12.9 kilos in each tile. I think that's fine. That should allow the... Yeah, there we go. The CO2 is already starting to lose its... It's already starting to warm up very aggressively now. Hello, Solren. How are you doing? Yeah, they can carry a ton. Absolutely true. Yes. The storage bins are cooling down a little bit, but it should be fine. The CO2 is cooling everything here, but hopefully that will help. That will help deal with all of this reasonably soon. We'll see. I could pipe some of this. Actually, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Let's get rid of this. And we're going to use Radiant pipes. Gold amalgam. Now, it is going to cool this down really aggressively, but it will very quickly get this CO2 thawed, which will be an important one. Right, but as I was saying, we need a source of CO2 in canisters. CO2 is going that way and up, then across. And what I very much need is for it to have... Let's pop something around here, I guess. Since I've got it going up there, I might as well build a little platform somewhere around here. This would be a platform area. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a platform area. So, let's pop down. The gas canister filler would need to sit right there. So, I'm going to need these tiles replaced. And these ones deconstructed. Right now, we've just cut off the CO2, which is unfortunate. But we will get back to that in just a moment. CO2, canister filler. Gold amalgam, it's fine. Just pop it there. It doesn't need power as much as far as I'm aware. Oh my lord, we're still making everything on a bloody 8. Not that I wasn't going to put it on 8, but all of my buildings have been being built on an 8, which I don't like. Right, we've almost finished getting all of this out of there. Occasionally our dupes do go idle, because I've got an awful lot of jobs, but I've still got a bunch of dupes that sometimes just need a little bit of a break in the main living quarters. So I don't like, as long as it's not constant idleness or lots of them idle at the same time, I'm fine with them being idle now and then. That isn't an issue for me. What? Oh, right. I was like, how on earth is the copper on my Slickster egg meat rail? And it's because I broke down the wires and the copper ended up in this room, so it just got passed down through the whole system. Right, now this is probably full of stupidly cold CO2. Yes, it is. This whole area is now very, very chilly. Actually, I'm going to need this there so I can reach that part. Being idle is sometimes a sign of them being stuck somewhere, but with the spaced out features, I've actually got a trapped option. So we do have that pop up if they've encased themselves somewhere they can't get out of. Likewise, we've got entombed as well. As long as the idleness only happens for a few moments, I don't mind. It's not something I'm gonna worry about. But if it lasts longer than a couple of, like a second or a couple of seconds rather, then it's something I'll investigate why they're idle for a while. But generally speaking, it should be okay. Right. Ah, no, it's got slime lung. Well, that's not ideal, I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, this is coming in at 57 degrees, it's going out at 45, but that is going to be rapidly improving the temperature of the petroleum in here. Which means that the 17.9 tons of CO2 that are currently in this storage bin are going to let themselves out very soon. That is glorious. I approve. I don't want these to be a high priority, though, frankly. These should be like priority 3 or something. I don't want them moving the CO2 above all other things. That's silly. But yeah. I'm trying to get hot CO2 in here, but I do just want there to be CO2 that these guys can breathe, because that's kind of a higher priority than not having the right temperature of CO2 for me. But we'll see. We're dropping about 15 degrees by going through this area, but that should be okay. We've managed to drop the 18 tons of frozen CO2 by a degree in that time. It's not too bad, really, all things considered. How much regolith have we got here? Yeah, it's only 312 kilos now. Someone could pick that up by themselves and move that. That's not going to be an issue. Yeah, Death, that's kind of what I was hoping for, but honestly, we're going to just have to come back to this, because it's going to take a while. Okay. The CO2 has liquefied. Hooray for liquid CO2. That liquefied very quickly. That was glorious. So yes. Yeah, there's much liquid CO2. Good times. Very good times. But now there is no stored CO2 in there, which is also good. Oh wow, look at that temperature though. It's going in at 55 degrees. It's coming out at in some cases less than 10 degrees. We are going to be chilling our slicksters, which is not a good thing, because we don't want long hair slicksters. That would be bad times. I'll take some choya seeds. But yeah, let's hope that this warms up quickly. Yep, it's gone. There we are. So much CO2 there now. CO2 bubble has happened. Now it's going to mix in with the other CO2 and start rising in temperature aggressively, but we may see a bunch of long-haired slickster babies. It is a thing that might happen. But on the plus side, the CO2 has now... the CO2 bubble has popped. What I could do is open these doors up to allow it to flood through. Because we've got 49 kilos of CO2 gas there. And like barely anything in here. So how about that, yeah? I think that would be good. Let's open this door. Set the door to open. Someone should come along, kick it open, and the CO2 will flood in. Now, the consequence of that is it's going to get very chilly in there, which isn't ideal, but, you know. I love the little bluish sparkles there. Actually, do I really want to do that? I mean, it is... No, we don't. We're actually okay with it not going in there just yet. Eventually, it will make its way in. Someone will go through that door for some reason, and a bunch of it will flood in. But it won't be a huge tsunami. That's the main thing we want to kind of avoid. Now I just want that to be moved, really. Problem is, regolith only goes to a few places. It doesn't get stored inside the base, so it's really like places like this, frankly. Alternatively, they can deposit it in certain conveyor lowers. Like, I can allow manual use. Don't want to, but... The other thing I could do is I could quickly throw together a storage bin and just say, you're allowed to put regolith in here. And then just keep dumping it. Make it sweep only. Allow the regolith to go in. Dump the regolith. So on and so forth. And just keep doing that for a little bit. Yeah, actually, we'll go with the automatic dispenser. Make it out gold amalgam again. Because they're just going to be taking tiny little bits of this over time. Right, I am going to want a gold amalgam vent right about here. Just for the time being, just to vent it into space. Because once this is out of the way, I can start emptying out all of the gases in there. Further to that, we're going to need water. Now, the water pipe we've already brought up, which is rather good. That should be... Yeah, that's already branching off. Good, good, good. So at this point, we want a... igneous rock is fine, I suppose. Pop that there. Granite doesn't really matter too much to me. Get that moving in. And then all the way around. That will start bringing the water in. But we don't quite want it to connect just yet. We'll bring it almost to connection, but we won't actually fully connect it all up. Right. Sweep only. And we want igneous rock. Igneous rock. Regolith. There we go. Make that a high priority so that it'll go there first. And someone should come along and just shunt all of that regolith down, then we can seal this off and we're good to go. Or at least, you know, getting closer. Hey, Abrash Kampachi, how you doing, mate? You know what? I just realised I was so excited to talk to Italics earlier when he raided about how his death cult was going. Once I learnt it was a death cult, that I actually, although we had a shout out command, I didn't properly express how important it would be for you guys to go and give Italics a follow if you hadn't already. So I'm going to do another shout out. There we go. Please forgive my my primo professional streamer hiccup there, but if you're not already familiar with Italics, he is a fantastic creator and has a shockingly similar taste in games to mine. So if you enjoy the content you find here, you will enjoy the content you find over on Italics channel, and you should absolutely go and check out his channel and drop him a follow. He, like I said, plays a lot of similar games, but it's more than the tasting games. He plays them in a similar way to me, which is doubly interesting. Sometimes it's a little bit bizarre, I'll be honest. And we've got such a similar focus on games. Let's put it that way. In fact, earlier on, popped into the Stellaris stream and found that he'd been 3 hours and he hadn't even finished making his empire yet. And it was like, I'm so glad there are people like you in the world because it makes me feel less alone. I could happily, as well, you know, spend hours of a stream making my character or making something like that. As I'll often say, a few hours spent now is going to dictate like 20 to 80 to 100 hours later on. So let's make the decision right now so that we don't have to faff around trying to correct it later. He's still in the character creator. Yes, exactly. So please, do follow that link there. Give him a follow. It is well worth your time. Also, is Nightbot being right or not? Did that shout out go through? Nightbot? There we are. I had to find Nightbot for a second there. I was like, damn it. But yes. Please do. I will more certainly, after I'm done with my stream tonight, be checking out the VODs of his last stream. I need to see how that went down. Right, so now that we've got all of that done, we can, at this point, go ahead and build... is this just sandstone? It's not the best thing to make it out of, I'm going to be honest. It really should be igneous rock, frankly.